Okay, in this video we're going to pit the Amazon Kindle Fire versus the Apple iPad 2. Now both of these devices might be tablets, but they offer you a different experience, and we'll get into that in this video. And it's really a sign of a maturing tablet market. I mean, tablets have been around for a long time. Microsoft made tablet computers, but they never hit their stride until the Apple iPad was introduced a little under 2 years ago. And since then, there has been an explosion of devices coming out. This year alone, we've seen many Android tablets come to market. We've seen the BlackBerry Playbook and also the HP Touchpad. But I think it's important to compare and contrast these two devices because the Apple iPad 2, as of the filming of this video, is the best-selling tablet on the market today. And the Amazon Kindle Fire tablet has a great chance at becoming a very popular tablet in and of itself. Now, primarily Amazon is a retail company. They're an online retail company, and they have some experience in consumer electronics with their Kindle line of e-readers. But primarily they're an online retail company, and it manifests itself in the Amazon Kindle Fire tablet. I actually look at the Kindle Fire as one of the first ever digital catalogs. Now, obviously you can buy items on any tablet, but there's really no company out there that offers what Amazon does as far as products and services. And the Amazon Kindle Fire is a portal to those products and services. Apple has a great digital ecosystem, a great app ecosystem, and a great music ecosystem in iTunes. And you can access that on the Apple iPad 2. But not only does Amazon have an app ecosystem with their Amazon App Store for Android, they also have a music ecosystem with their MP3 downloads. They also have a movie ecosystem where you can stream movies or purchase movies from Amazon. And then they have all the physical goods that you can buy from Amazon. So if there's any company out there that has a greater ecosystem for a device like this than Apple does, it's Amazon. Now, just in case you're wondering, there's nothing wrong with the screen here. This is just a little black post-it note I put up here to block out my name so I don't have to edit it out later on, and it'll save me a lot of time. Now, obviously, when you look at both of these devices, the first thing you see is that the Amazon Kindle Fire is smaller than the Apple iPad 2. In fact, it's almost twice as small. So if I take this tablet right here and I put it on the Apple iPad 2, it's almost the same width here. Maybe just a hair bigger is the Amazon Kindle Fire tablet. But if you look here, you could fit two of them on the screen there. Now, the depth of the devices, let me show you that here. The Apple iPad 2 is thinner than the Amazon Kindle Fire tablet. Now, as far as buttons are concerned, on the Apple iPad you have your home button down here on the bottom. You have a volume rocker here on the right-hand side. You also have a lock switch, and on top you have your power button up here. On the Amazon Kindle Fire, there's only one button on the device, and that's on the bottom. That's your power button down here. There's no volume rocker or anything like that. All of that is accomplished through software. As far as ports are concerned, on the Apple iPad you have your proprietary Apple connector here, and you have your 3.5mm headphone jack on the top of the device up here. On the Amazon Kindle Fire, everything's on the bottom. You have your micro USB connector down here, and you have a 3.5mm headphone jack on the bottom here. Now, both of these devices have accelerometers in them, so you can actually view this any way you want. You can hold it this way, you can hold it this way, you can hold it this way. You get the idea. But I actually think it's nicer to have the connectors on the bottom, especially the 3.5mm headphone jack, because when you actually hold the device, you don't want to have to deal with the cord coming out of the top. It's nicer to have it coming out of the bottom, whereas on the Apple iPad 2, your connector's on top there. Not a big deal, like I said. I just think ergonomically it's better to have the connector coming out of the bottom. The Apple iPad 2 is equipped with two cameras, a front-facing camera and a rear-facing camera right here, both of which are VGA quality. On the Amazon Kindle Fire, it does not have any cameras at all, and that was one of the steps they took to actually minimize the cost of this device. The Amazon Kindle Fire also does not have a microphone on it. The Apple iPad 2 has a microphone, and it's up here. It's a little, I don't know if you can see it, it's a little hole right in the aluminum up there. So unfortunately, you're not going to be using the Amazon Kindle Fire for any Skype apps or any recording of your voice or taking any pictures. Now, as I mentioned before, Amazon is a retail company, and it really shows in this device. Their DNA shows in the Amazon Kindle Fire, in that it's basically a digital catalog to the Amazon ecosystem. Likewise, over here on the Apple iPad 2, Apple is primarily a computer company. They have their roots in creating some of the first personal computers on the market. And their DNA definitely shows in this device. You can see that they approach it more from a computing aspect, where the focus of this device seems to be more like a lightweight computer. So I look at an Apple iPad 2 as a lightweight computer. The Amazon Kindle Fire is more, like I said, that digital catalog and also an e-reader. Although the functionality of both devices, you can surf the internet, you can get email on both devices have apps, but the focus of the device here, like I said, is that Amazon ecosystem. And the focus of this device here is a very user-friendly, lightweight, personal computing experience. Now, the Apple iPad 2 is a 9.7-inch screen, and the screen aspect ratio is 3:4. So very much like an old television set is. The Amazon Kindle Fire has a 7-inch screen, and the aspect ratio on it is not quite 16:10 and not quite 16:9. So it falls in between 16:9, 16:10. It falls closest to 16 and 9.5. If you're not familiar, 16:9 is the resolution of a television set, a flat panel television set that you'd buy today at the store. And an average Android tablet is 16:10, so it falls between the two. Now, the Amazon Kindle Fire resolution is 1024 by 600, and the pixel density on that is 169 pixels per inch. The Apple iPad 2's resolution is 1024 by 768. And the pixel density on this device is 132 pixels per inch. So the pixel density is greater on the Amazon Kindle Fire, so you get a better resolution on this screen. And it stands to reason because the Amazon Kindle Fire is a smaller device, so it actually has all those pixels crammed into a smaller space, so you get a greater pixel density on the device. The CPU on the Apple iPad 2 is an A5 processor, which is a dual-core 1 gigahertz processor. So each core runs at 1 gigahertz per core. It also has a graphics processor in it, which is the PowerVR SGX 543 MP2. The Kindle Fire also runs a dual-core 1 gigahertz processor, that's 1 gigahertz per core, and it runs a Texas Instruments OMAP 4 4430 chip in it. It also has a graphics processor, also a PowerVR, but this runs the SGX 540. Both devices have 512 megabytes of RAM. The Amazon Kindle Fire measures 190 millimeters in height, 120 millimeters in width, and 11.4 millimeters in depth. The Apple iPad, on the other hand, is 241 millimeters in height, 186 millimeters in width, and 8.8 millimeters in depth. Now, the Kindle Fire weighs 413 grams, and this is the Wi-Fi version of the Apple iPad 2. So it weighs a little bit less than the 3G models by, 10 grams. But this device actually weighs 600 grams. So it's heavier than the Amazon Kindle Fire, and you would expect that because it's a smaller device. The construction here, you have a fortified glass on the front, and you have aluminum on the back. On the Kindle Fire, you have Gorilla Glass on the front, and you have a rubberized plastic on the back. The Kindle Fire has stereo speakers on the top of the device, and the Apple iPad 2 has a mono speaker on the back here, on the back bottom, on this beveled edge here. Now, you're actually going to get more options if you want to buy an Apple iPad 2. You can buy the black version, you can buy the white version, you can buy Wi-Fi, you can buy 3G, and then your capacities range from 16 gigabytes to 32 gigabytes and top out at 64 gigabytes. So in all, there are 12 versions of the Apple iPad 2 that you could purchase. And they range from $499 to $829. As of filming this video, you can get the Kindle Fire in any color you want as long as it's black, as Henry Ford would say. So you basically get one version of the Amazon Kindle Fire, the black version, and one capacity, which is 8 gigabytes. And the Amazon Kindle Fire is $199. That makes it a full $300 less than the lowest end Apple iPad 2, which this one happens to be. This one was $499, this is $199. So there's a big difference in price between these two devices here. And if you compare the Kindle Fire to the highest priced Apple iPad 2 that you can buy, which is $829, there's a $630 difference between the two devices. So that's definitely something to consider if you're in the market for any of these tablets. The Amazon Kindle Fire is a Wi-Fi only device. It offers 802.11 B, G, and N. It does not have Bluetooth. The Apple iPad 2 also has 802.11 B, G, and N, but it also throws in A in the mix there. So it has 802.11 A, B, G, and N. And it does have Bluetooth, Bluetooth 2.1. And of course, if you do get the 3G versions, then you have the 3G connectivity in the device as well. Both screens have multi-touch capabilities, so you can touch with more than one finger. And the operating system on the Apple iPad 2 is iOS 5. The operating system on the Amazon Kindle Fire tablet is Android 2.3. So it's actually a forked version of the Android operating system. Now, when I bought this Kindle Fire, if you look at the video of the unboxing and the first time power up, you'll know that I actually just unboxed the device, turned it on, signed in, and I was ready to go. I didn't have to connect the device to a computer at all. On the Apple iPad 2, iOS 5 allows you to do the same, so you don't have to connect it to a computer. Unfortunately, I bought this device a month after iOS 5 came out, and this device was still not loaded with iOS 5. It still had iOS 4 on it. So I still had to connect this device to my computer to get it to work. So as of the filming of this video, there are probably some iPads out there still that you can buy that don't have iOS 5 on it, and you still have to connect it to a computer, which kind of defeats the purpose of this device being a standalone device. But as time goes on, I would imagine the Apple iPad 2s and upcoming Apple iPad 3 will come with the latest operating system installed on it. Now, if you're not familiar, upgrading the operating system on this was fairly painless. I just connected this to my computer, and through iTunes I downloaded iOS 5, and this device is now updated to iOS 5, so when I do this comparison, you're going to see iOS 5 versus Amazon's custom build of Android. So that pretty much does it for this video. In part 2, I'm actually going to turn on both devices and pit them head-to-head against each other. So if you have any questions or comments, as always, leave them down below. Please give me a thumbs up if you like this video, and if you're not already a subscriber, please subscribe. So that pretty much does it for this video. I'll see you in part 2.